Whether you're a small business owner, a content creator, or a marketing pro, you may feel like SEO is a gigantic puzzle and you're missing a few key pieces. But here's the deal, your rankings aren't stuck by chance. There are 5 massive SEO mistakes that almost everybody makes, and they're holding you back from getting higher rankings, more traffic, and better results. In this video, I'm not only going to break down what those 5 main mistakes are, but I'm going to show you some simple, practical fixes to help you to rank higher and see better results. So if you're tired of guessing what's wrong and you're finally ready to see your website thrive, stick around because this is the SEO wake-up call that you've been waiting for. So let's go. So the first major mistake is keyword stuffing. Now, what is keyword stuffing? Well, back in the early days of Google, a lot of people could kind of manipulate the search engine by putting their keyword in their content over and over and over again. This used to be a signal to Google that the more times that a keyword was in a piece of content, the higher it should rank that content. But I have some news for you. Google really has been walking away from this and really doesn't honor keyword stuffing and hasn't since about 2012. So keyword stuffing is a super old, outdated practice that just doesn't work. And when I talk about keyword stuffing, here's a really good example of what keyword stuffing looks like. So in this example, the keyword is product marketing, and it's highlighted to show you how many times it's crammed into this one paragraph. This is what keyword stuffing is, and it doesn't work in today's SEO landscape. And the reason why is because Google is acting more like a user than it is an algorithm. So as a user, you would clearly understand that this looks really spammy, and that's what Google tries to combat with its spam updates. Keyword stuffing doesn't work, and in fact, it'll actually harm your website more than it will help. Google rolls out spam updates all the time that will penalize and de-index sites that use bad methods like keyword stuffing. So just don't do it. So does it still matter to have keywords in your content? The simple answer is yes, but you need to follow best practices when optimizing your content for keywords. We've actually created a guide where we walk you through from start to finish how to use keywords. For example, how many you should use on a page, how do primary keywords work, secondary keywords work. So I'm going to put a link to this article and guide in the description below, so make sure that you check that out. The second biggest mistake that people make is that they don't optimize their website for mobile. The reason why this is such a huge mistake is that Google actually prioritizes mobile over desktop now when it comes to Google search. So if your website looks really bad on mobile, that's going to hurt your user engagement, right? Your bounce rate is going to go up, and that's going to hurt your analytics ultimately when it comes to Google deciding is your site the type of site that a user would want to look at and view and engage with. If it's not, Google's going to naturally put another site ahead of yours that is. Now, why this mistake is so common is because a lot of people put a lot of time and focus into how their website looks. And don't get me wrong, I think it's important that a website should look nice and it should, convey your brand and your messaging. Those things are really important. But sometimes you have to choose function over form. And when it comes to SEO, the sites that actually perform better do focus on function over form because it has all the technical elements that it needs to have for Google to reward it. So if you're faced with two choices to make the site look super, super pretty, or to make sure that the site works well on mobile and maybe doesn't look slightly as pretty, I would always pick that second option. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So here's an example site for tag team signs. It looks pretty on desktop. If we scroll down, it's got nice big text and letters and colors. But once you look at it in mobile, and the simplest way to do this is just in a browser, you can just size the browser all the way to the left. You'll see that the text is starting to get cut off, especially if I scroll down here, there's complete pieces of paragraphs that are missing. So this website is not mobile optimized, which is really bad for SEO. If your site looks like this and it's not optimized for mobile, Google's naturally going to rank another site above you that has a better mobile user experience. Hyper-focusing on how good your website looks on desktop leads me into the third big mistake that people make, in that they lack quality content on their site. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, where maybe the look or the aesthetic of the website is given much more focus than the actual content on the website, which is what Google uses to crawl and to show users results. So here's an example of a restaurant website. Restaurant websites are really the biggest offender of this, and I get it, right? They're trying to show off the food. They want to really make the user emotionally connect to their product, but you still got to have some words on the page if you want Google and SEO to work for you. So if we take a look at this page, right, it's beautiful, right? It's visually stunning. There's lots of really great stuff. There's a little paragraph here, not very much text here, a little bit of text here, but it's very, very image heavy. So you can see that there's not a whole lot of content. When there's not a lot of content on your site, it's harder for Google to understand what your website is about. Now, I'm not saying that you need to add just tons and tons of content to these pages, but you need to add enough so that Google understands what the website is about, what the page is about, and what the intent should be for the user that's looking at this page. So again, if you're working with a designer and the choices are, well, we can lessen the aesthetic a little bit to get you a little bit more text, I would pick that option. And the reason why is because Google needs words, right? Not a ton of them. You don't want to go overboard, but there needs to be enough so that it gives the user context and it can understand the intent of what the website or the page is about. Now, the next mistake is something that almost every single SEO struggles with, but before I get into that mistake, I just want to put in a quick plug for our do-it-for-you SEO agency services. As you know, SEO is hard, and trying to keep track of all of the moving pieces can be pretty overwhelming. And that's where our do-it-for-you SEO services come in. Here at BKA Content, we have over 15 years of experience of crafting winning SEO strategies for our clients. And our results speak for themselves. So if you want to be able to take your website to the next level, come on over to bkacontent.com and sign up for a free SEO content audit. In this audit, we're going to take a look at your website and show you what opportunities exist, as well as what we would recommend to help take your website to the next level. Again, this audit's completely free, so what do you have to lose? Come on over to bkacontent.com today to sign up. Now, the fourth biggest mistake that people make is that they don't track their SEO progress. I know that sounds insane, but most people just open up their analytics and take a look and see, well, my traffic went up, so it must be working, but that's not good enough. And the reason why is you want to really track what sort of work that you're doing that's actually making a difference. Here at BKA Content, we track a whole bunch of different things to make sure that we have a better understanding of what our efforts are doing and how they're moving the needle for our clients. For example, we determine what sort of arena our clients' websites can even play in, right? If they're winning keywords that are average, between 20 and 25 KD, those are the type of keywords that we need to be winning to slightly move them up. We're not going to be able to target keywords that are in the 40s or 50s on the KD ratio. And if you're not tracking progress, you wouldn't know that for your website. Some of the other things that we track is what is the difference that the changes on content that we've created are actually making. So being able to understand, in orange, the content that we've done versus the blue, which would be the existing content on a client's website, really helps you to understand the difference and the progress that you're making with your SEO campaign. And the same can be said for traffic, right? You want to make sure that you are tracking the traffic of the new content or the optimized content versus the old so that you can have a clear understanding of the difference that you're making. When it comes to getting good SEO results, you have to let the data tell you what to do. And if you're not tracking your progress, you're gonna have a really hard time making good SEO decisions that move the needle in the right direction. And now that leads me to our fifth and final big mistake that SEOs make, and that is that they ignore backlinks. In today's SEO landscape, backlinks are still a major signal that Google uses to be able to rank your content above someone else's. But one of the biggest things that have changed lately is that the quality of a backlink matters more than the quantity of backlinks. And there's a reason for this. For example, if you're selling manufacturing equipment and all the links that you have to your website are from mommy blogs, those are super irrelevant and really have nothing to do with your business. And Google's smart, and they know this, and they're actually going to devalue those links and rank your content lower in the search engines. So if you want to learn how to use backlinks to your advantage and actually understand how many backlinks you need to rank above your competition, make sure that you watch this video where we go over how to determine how many backlinks a piece of content would need on your website to outrank your competition. This will help you immensely to understand how you can make backlinks work for you. So click this video and I'll see you over there.